Welcome back from your commercial break. So, moving on to the next episode, we will be looking at Panic in the Sewers.
Yep, and this is I want to start this off because this is so cool. I'm a big fan of the reference. We start off with the turtles alone in some dark alley, like all nighttime and everything, and then suddenly the Shredder attacks, walking around, trading his claws against the wall, and defeating the turtles one by one.
Yeah, first Mikey, who happened to be backing into him, and then Donnie's next, and then Raph and gets killed. And I like how they symbolize like having each of the turtles vanish into the mist to symbolize that they are killed off.
And of course, for all those that don't know, heavy Nightmare on Elm Street references there, especially with the claws against the wall like that. That was epic. I like that.
Yeah. And then, just as Leo dies, Splinter wakes up, so we know this is not so much an event as much as it is a nightmare of what he fears will happen to his sons. And he is actually channeling the fears of all the other of all four of his sons, because they had just faced an enemy that they were not ready for, and he wasn't ready for them to face. Like I'm sure, much like the Mirage comics, Splinter would have sent the turtles after Orokusaki eventually, but he would have wanted them to be a lot older and more mature than they are now before he did that. He wakes up and catches all the turtles getting ready to leave, and he says, "Oh no, you're not doing any more patrols until I say you're ready."
In other words, Splinter says, "Pool's closed."
Yeah, you are staying here. You are training nonstop. No patrol, no games, no rest. Starting now.
Then I believe the episode begins, and the turtles are. No, wait, does it start with the turtles training, or does it start with the bad guys doing stuff? I forgot by
I
now.
have in my notes it says another episode that Mikey is an idiot. I don't know why, I don't remember anymore. But in my notes it says another episode that Mikey is an idiot.
Oh, I remember now, because the turtles were, like, trying to do their own thing to relax in the meantime, because they can't go upstairs anymore. And I think Leo's watching his show as usual. Raph was probably training, or I don't know what he was doing. Donnie was with his inventions. And Mikey was throwing water balloons.
Oh yeah, the
Because
whole
Dr. Frankenstein is in the house.
Well, first they are doing all these training exercises, and they've been apparently been training for weeks on end with hardly any sleep, which is taking its toll on everybody. So when Donnie says like, "Can we take a break or something?" The Splinter says, "A break? The Shredder doesn't take a break. Not until you're all dead."
even after that I don't think he'll take a break. He'll be like determined after killing the turtles. He'll be determined to kill Splinter. Then that's whenever he'll take a break.
He says, "We will train all night if we have to." We have been training all night. But Splinter sees some logic that, yeah, perhaps his sons do need a chance to recuperate for a little bit before they begin training again.
One can only imagine Shredder's itinerary. Like, Saber could be like, "Hey, Shredder, that real cute Japanese woman wanted to ask you out. Like, are you free Thursday?" And Shredder's like, "Wait, hold on, let me check my schedule. Let me see. Kill turtles, kill turtles, kill turtles, kill Splinter, kill turtles. Yes, I'm free Thursday. Kind of squeeze me in there for 3 o'clock in between killing turtles and killing turtles."
And each of the turtles have like their own way of kind of like dealing with the stress and fear they're dealing with. Like Donnie throws himself into projects. Raph lashes out at everything to express his fear and frustration. Leo, he delves into his favorite show, and Mikey, of course, tries to make everyone laugh or something, which of course annoys everybody.
Or something. Like you said right there, Venka, or something.
Well, I mean, I feel like he had really he was trying to inspire laughter in everybody or try to lighten the mood, and he was doing a poor job of it.
Another thing that's funny is, again, the commercial breaks, advertising. All they advertise was Mikey throwing the water balloons at the turtles. So you had absolutely no idea what the episode's about. It's like, oh my god, they fought the Shredder. The Shredder knows they exist now. Splinter's like, we're at war. What's gonna happen now? Mikey, where's water balloons? Say, what now?
Exactly.
It's like, it's an action and a comedy show, but they really like to play up the advertising like it's like straight up comedy though.
He's like, look, Spike, here's a show you'll enjoy. It's called Does Mikey Bet That Way?
Epic foreshadowing. They should have made Spike smile in that one frame if he didn't.
Yeah, he's seen Raph get along with his brothers rather well while he was a normal turtle, but he's also been privileged to hearing all the downsides of the turtles as well. So it's like, oh yeah, Leo gets the best, and I'm always second best to him, blah blah blah. Or, oh, Donnie's so annoying. He talks endlessly about stuff I could care less about, and none of his projects work. He's not a genius. He's a walking disaster area. And Mikey, don't get me started on Mikey.
Oh yeah, so I remember when the bad guys when we showed the bad guys again, Severus still like just in the water, unable to do anything.
He's just chilling.
I still remember Johnny missed a couple of episodes, so when he finally saw one, he was asking me like, "Yo, what's that random thing swimming around Shredder's pool?" I'm saying, "Oh, that's Severus." Say what now? Oh, this one he just had like random split-second cameo. I think he didn't really talk or nothing. He just kind of like poked his head out of the water for a second.
Sever.
Yeah, so April shows up and says like, "Oh yeah, I had tricked the purple dragons into getting a pizza," and
oh, that's the undercover episode one.
Yeah, I have it as a note.
That's the one where she gave a pizza box
with the radio on the bottom,
a big ass fucking heavy radio on the bottom,
and it said, "Stupid listening device, how can you not notice that bulky thing?" I love my notes, they're so funny.
And not only that, but it's like, guys, when you put the box on the table, you're going to notice that the box is kind of wobbly or something.
It's like lifted up.
Yeah, it's like, why is the pizza levitating?
It's like, gee, I wonder if there's something under the box. Free pizza, who cares? Nom 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 nom.
Yeah, so she reports, it says like there is going to be all this event that is going on, and so they need to deal with that. So the turtles go out in the middle of the day, because you could tell the abandoned church, it says noon on the clock, so it's the middle of the day. And there's like this whole meeting, and while they are there, they encounter Bradford, and who Mikey gives the name of Dog Pound to. And there's like this whole interesting scene, like where everyone's kind of like freaked out, and like Leo says like it's okay to be afraid, and Raph's like, oh, I'm not afraid, and Leo senses there's kind of like a lie in Raph's words, so he taps him on the shoulder, which causes Raph to freak out. And they fight Dog Pound for a while, and then they find they can't handle him on their own, so they go back to the lair, and they are frustrated because they're like, okay, yeah, Dog Pound was not something we expected, and
yeah, well, I still like that part too, where Mikey was saying, "I think we're over our head here, guys." They're like, Mikey, you're always over your head. No, I mean just that we all are. Yeah, so once again, the fight against Dog Pound did not go well. He was way too big and strong and fast for him.
So April says, well, I'm being trained to be a Kuno each. Why don't I go check out the meeting? And they're like, what? No way. You aren't as experienced as we are, and we don't want you to get in danger. And she says, well, give me a chance.
Like, no, we already have one member of the O'Neill family missing prophecies. We don't need another one.
Yes. So they have her give out the information, and they hear that there's going to be a chemical dumped into the sewers.
Didn't she also try to give like 3 pieces to the foot, and they just closed the door in her face? She did do that, right?
Yeah, and she says like, oh, it seems the foot are a lot smarter than the purple dragons.
She should have had like sushi instead or something.
I don't think they would care anyway.
Yeah. So she's like, "Oh no, I'm not done." So she convinces the Asian market guy to.
Oh, she's the undercover cop. That was that scene from?
No, she says like fire marshal, and she shows her school ID a split second.
That's the one where she had like braces and glasses on the ID or something.
Yeah, and says like, "Yeah, we hear there's faulty wiring. Please let me in." And he's like, "I don't know about that." And she like just barges her way into the house and climbs into his fire escape. Before she does that, she throws away the pizza, and Mikey's like, "No, don't throw away the pizza." Yeah, so they hear it's like there's this chemical, and before they actually hear about the chemical and whatnot, they go deciding whether they should evacuate the lair, and April says, "No, I'm not letting you guys just give up. Because this is your home, and it's being threatened." And interesting enough, like, Donnie says, "I hear Florida's nice this year." And OT referenced the punk frogs are from Florida.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. So then they find out something about like that whole chemical thing, right? They're gonna go and rob the chemicals or something, so that when they dump it into the sewers.
Yeah, there was a tanker truck bringing this rare chemical, and Raph and Donnie are arguing so much that they can't actually hear the name of the chemical.
Oh yeah, I remember that. They're listening in the walkie-talkie thingy and yelling, screaming, whatever. Gosh, oh great guys, now we can't even hear where the chemical's being taken.
Yeah, so and Donnie's like wanting to go get April, and Leo says, "No, I understand you're worried, but if you go get her, you're going to expose her. So you need to stay here and wait for her to come back on her own." And April says like, "Oh no, I'm going to hitch a ride and see where they're going." And unfortunately, Dog Pound hears her
and grabs her. So now Turtles gotta split up because one of them's gonna have to rescue April. The other one's gonna have to stop the chemicals and everything.
Yeah, and ironically, it's Leo who's having the panic attack. I mean, it's the love of Donatello's life has just been kidnapped, and Donnie is like perfectly calm about this, and Leo is the one freaking out.
Well, he's like, well, yeah, but the bait talked back to me, so. But yeah, so Leo has a panic attack, and then Raphael like sighs and everything, and imitates lines from the Space Hero show.
Grunch. Yeah, he's like, "You're a captain, so act like it."
And then Leo regains control, and it's back to, let's do it. Let's save the day, guys.
And they're like, "Okay, so how are we going to catch up to him?" And Leo decides to use that patrol buggy that Donnie was making, and despite the fact Donnie is repeatedly saying, "It's not ready yet,"
they still take it out.
Yes, and they use it, and everyone, and it's funny, it's like you have Leo with Donnie sitting behind Leo and Mikey sitting behind Raphael, and they even comment on that, like when Leo tells Mikey that they are teaming up, and he says, "If you haven't noticed, I'm attached to Raph." And Raph says, "I can fix that." And he pulls the release so that Mikey's cart goes flying backwards.
Those are cool ideas, little Go-Kart things.
Yeah, but fortunately, we don't see that very often. It's more like something they use whenever the shell razor isn't able to be used.
Although in this particular case, I think they haven't used the shell razor yet in the cartoon, did they? I forgot.
Yeah, they don't use the shell razor till episode 16, and then they use it again, the patrol buggies again in episode 17.
That's the thing that surprised me about the show. All the things in the theme song, like Dog Pound, and especially Fish Face, take a long time before you actually see them in the actual show. And then, of course, now with the shell razor, also took a long time. It's weird how you do it that way.
Yeah. Oh, I was just saying, yeah.
He might become more evident later when he's more like revealed, or at least when they do season 3 or something.
I never noticed it. More it's like, oh, there was Casey, I never saw him before. And I keep looking, I keep missing. Finally, I saw it, the whole reference to him.
Exactly. So the turtles are. So Raph and Dawn go racing off, and and Mikey and Leo go racing after the tanker, and Donnie had noticed the name of the chemical that was on the tanker, and he says like, "Oh, that reacts violently with water, so if they dump it in the sewers, it will burn everything, including the lair, in seconds."
And of course, Splinter's still down there, so something must be done.
There's not really much to be said about the whole rescue April team because April pretty much saves herself, though the turtles do help. Such as while they're driving past, Donnie yells, "April, hold your breath!" and he throws one of the smoke bomb eggs into the vans, which disorientates Fong and causes him to crash. And then when Fong is trying to attack the turtles with that cleaver he carries, she opens the door and which smacks him in the face and knocks him out.
Well, I remember the stupidity too when Mikey kept wanting to use the stupid water balloons even in serious moments.
But the serious moment, it worked out.
Yeah, he's like, "Mikey, throw the water balloon." "What water balloon?" "The one you were going to hit me with." There's a little more that could be actually said about the whole tanker fight because they are already starting to release the chemical into the sewers, and I think some of it actually does actually get to the sewers, because even if it's not via the pipe that was being used, because Dog Pound takes one of Leonardo's hands that are holding his katanas and like jabs the katana into the tanker. So some of it could have actually gone into the sewers at least.
Again, something that's neglected and forgotten.
That's bad though, because that would have blown up the moment it touched any water, wouldn't it? So that can't be exactly neglected for too long.
Well, it's neglected by the writers there, by the writers of the actual show, because they didn't think about that.
Yeah, yeah. So, in the end, Mikey saves the day by throwing a water balloon at the tanker, and that causes the whole thing to explode.
And that, of course, saves the day and defeats Dog Pound in the foot and everything, and leaves the Shredder saying, "So they defeated you with go-karts and water balloons?"
I know it sounds ridiculous, but
It's like, is this the 80s cartoon or something? Because I'm sorry, when he said that's exactly what it sounded like.
What is this, 1987?
The only thing missing is it's like, "You leave my sight, you mutant morons!"
Warthog and rhinoceros. I should have gone with a warthog and rhinoceros.
They seem like they would have been a much smarter pair. A much smarter and competent pair. Leaving the audience to think, "Oh, if we only knew."
Hey, Fishface and Dog Pound are geniuses compared to Rocksteady and Bebop. I think it would have been cool if the Shredder had said like, "One more failure and I am bringing her," or something, or make reference to Karai, or maybe turn into a foot soldier and said, "Bring my daughter from Japan," or something, or "Contact my daughter."
Yeah, because it's like, when she appeared, it really made her sound like she was there the whole time.
Well, she could have been just kicking around America, going like, "Oh yeah, this sucks. It's nothing like Japan. Oh, I can do this a lot better in Tokyo," or "Oh, in Tokyo it's a lot better." Like, I'm not saying she's a Japan's better than America snob, but sometimes she does come across that way.
And then the Turtles, after this, they head home and everything. And then Splinter humbly apologizes for pushing them too hard.
Yeah, saying like, you had a fear and I'm the one who instilled it in you, and for that I am sorry. So no more training unless Michelangelo throws that water balloon.
Oh yeah, and then everyone like chases after him.
Dun, 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 dun.
But see, it's another point too, because it's like, he wants him to be ready to fight against Shredder, but if you keep training him like crazy, if Shredder does attack, they'll be too tired to do anything.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yes, exactly.
Dun 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 dun.
Okay. So anyways, thoughts on the episodes?
Oh yeah, we didn't do our thoughts for the first episode. That's what.
Yeah, so how would you review these two episodes, like starting with the Gauntlet? Like, knowing my rating system, like, I rated the Gauntlet as epic awesomeness. Like, yes, we could have done without the pigeon, it could have been like there could have been some other creative way to get that message to April, but the pigeon is mildly enjoyable.
I just remembered something. Like they never brought him back ever. Did they bring him back or no?
No, they never
No.
did.
No, it's the first and last time we see Bird Brain. He is a throwaway character. That was a waste of
Computer model.
Yeah, computer modeling. Unless you see him flying in the sky randomly, but that was a waste of a computer model.
I would always assume that in some future episode they would have needed like something like we gotta send a message out. Who do we get? And they call for Pete to send a message or something like that. Like some kind of random reason to have him feature at least for a second or something.
I mean, Rockwell, I think we might see again. I know we are seeing spider bites again, and it would be like kind of a waste to let Rockwell go and not have him become an ally in the future.
Yeah. Well, Rockwell's going to appear in one of the comics, so that's going to be interesting.
Donnie making the retro mutant, it wouldn't surprise me if he sort of manages to create it, but it doesn't. Instead of turning him back into a monkey, it just enables him to be able to talk like a normal human.
I'm trying to think.
Well, we'll see, because I know the comic book can't, it won't be able to change anything so that it's not different, not to contradict the cartoon, of course, but yeah, the issue's big sale is going to be how Rockwell sees Dr. Falco again, because now it's going to be different because, of course, Falco's now the Rat King. So,
So that's going to be in a future comic.
yeah, so it's going to be like how they're going to react now that Rockwell's a monkey and Falco's the Rat King. That's like their seller point.
Yeah, but the Rat King is also going to appear again in the TV series, and he's going to have a gigantic rat that he rides on.
Yeah, and he's going to be attacked by the Ice Cream Kitty.
It's like squeak, squeak.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't see the rest of it because it's too inappropriate to say on this podcast. Squeak, squeak. Yeah.
Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
So, yeah, and we know the retro mutant is going to be its own can of worms once it's done, because, like someone pointed out with Chekhov's gun, that if the retro mutant is created, then it's going to be used against them as much as it's going to be used to help them.
And you see, right there, the cartoon's going to fail big time if they do it, because the mutant is so unstable and so whatever. If it happens to fall on the turtles and makes them turn back to normal turtles, there is absolutely no logical reason why, if you put more mutant on them, they're going to turn back exactly the way they were before. That's impossible, because it's
I doubt that.
So unpredictable that they would have turned into like other weird /Toka turtle monster things. But you know how cartoons work, and of course they're the main characters. If they get mutated again, they'll just turn exactly the way they were with no rhyme or reason.
I doubt it, but who knows? Because they turned Doggy Park into Doggy Scary Park.
Into Razar, you mean? Yes.
Yeah, his name, whatever his name. Yeah, Doggy Scary Park sounds better.
Well, I think the way they will actually know that Donnie has successfully created the retro mutant is probably if there's an episode where Donnie is given a second mutation, and the end result is one of the turtles lobbing his recent experimentation on the retro mutagen at him, and that conveniently turns him back.
Actually, it would have been more epic if instead of a secondary mutation, Donnie is the one that turns into a normal turtle. Then they're really screwed.
Well, maybe, or...
Because assuming, I don't know, it depends on how they do it. They might make up some kind of cheap thing like maybe it wasn't a strong enough dose so he could still talk or something. I don't know, but still, that'd be interesting.
I'm hoping that if they do decide to go that route, that they, with the whole Donnie getting a second mutation, they keep it slow, have it be a unforeseen result of something that happens in season 2.
Oh, so now it works for season 3 or something?
Yeah, because we had Baxter Stockman wanting to make a mutant army for himself, for some God knows reason why, and we know he gets mutated into a fly later on. So of course he's going to want to have try and figure out a way to become human again.
I almost forgot about the mutant army. Probably the mutant army of doom.
Yeah, so I could see like maybe the turtles reluctantly turning to Stockman to try and say, our brother was attempting to make this retromutagen, we and you're the only one who can return him back to normal, or the only one we could think of who can help return him back to normal. And Stockman maybe pretends to be sympathetic and says, "Oh, can I see what notes your brother has taken?"
I don't know. Raph would be against the whole thing the whole time.
Same with Leo or something, but
He'd be like, "Oh no, you don't. You're not gonna see Donnie's papers."
you're not going to see Donnie's notes, or we're going to keep an eye on you the whole time, because you're probably going to want to use it for yourself.
But as for the second episode, Panic in the Sewers, what do you think of it?
Well, we never heard your results for it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, mine was basically what you would expect. The epic awesomeness. It is the best one. The only minor thing is just it's the pigeon. But I guess he's not in it that long enough that you kind of forget about him anyways by the time you even get down to the serious stuff. So, yeah, it was a great episode.
I guess I guess I'll say the same thing. It's just the pigeon was a stupid introduction to the whole storyline. Or, well, it's a stupid way to introduce the episode with a stupid pigeon. So, the pigeon was... Huh?
The pigeon was unneeded, and he's forgettable, fortunately.
Yep, and never came back.
It's like what you said, too, that, if anyone has doubts about the cartoon being, like, epic or serious, maybe it's too goofy or something, just show them the fight with the Shredder, and there you go. Well, the whole sequence, actually. The whole thing, starting from the fight with the Krang, Chris and Sever, then the Shredder, that whole sequence was pretty well played out. But for Panic in the Sewers, unfortunately, it is a pretty lackluster follow-up to the epicness of the other episode, so it does kind of drop down. It is kind of weird. It does kind of seem kind of like typical villain plot of the week. It's up to Turtles. And the only high point for me is that it's basically like formally introduced Dog Pound as a character in the series, and we get to see him finally fight the Turtles for the first time as Dog Pound. That's the only kind of sort of saving grace. So I'd put it like in between. What's the average one?
It wouldn't kick it out of bed if it ain't.
I don't know if it's that bad. What's one that's a bit higher than that?
I actually rated this one an epic awesomeness. I mean, yeah, compared to the yes, it seems a little odd to have a dark episode and then having one that's a bit more lighthearted, but it did have suspense, and all the members had a role to play.
That's true.
I don't know about my opinion. I haven't watched this for a long time. I don't know what to rate this episode. I think it's in the middle. I'll just say what Mark said. I don't know.
So, you wouldn't kick it out of bed for eating beans, and you wouldn't recommend it to a newcomer.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, that does sound like it, because it's not exactly a real good episode to start the show on a bit.
Well, the epic beginning intro scene was pretty good.
But yeah, it's probably not like the most perfect episode to start the series on, because it's kind of like you said, you're showing it to a newcomer. You want to convince them that the show is epic and serious when it wants to be, and you have Shredder say you got defeated by Go-Karts and water balloons. It doesn't kind of, not a good example.
Well, it brings back the 80s cheese of failing miserably. It sounds like so stupid and simple.
As long as Shredder does not have the idea to make an evil ninja pizza parlor.
Dude. Well, I guess let's just do our outros, or any final words before we finish up?
Nope, I think we're pretty much good. So, until next time, I'm Venka Fei, this the Lavender Ninja.
Paige Mischief, the Pink Ninja.
And Mark Rodriguez here, the Orange Ninja.
And tune in next time for episode 6, where we look at Mauser's attack and it came from the depths.